please welcome the special performance of Tari Topeng Makanan presented by Unit 3 of Universitas Brawijaya.
Hadirin yang kami hormati, untuk lebih menyemarakan acara ini, mari kita sambut dengan tepuk tangan yang meriah persembahan spesial Tari Topeng Makanan yang dibawakan oleh Unit 3 Universitas Brawijaya.
the audience to stand and together sing the Indonesian national anthem.
Berikutnya hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri dan bersama-sama mari kita nyanyikan bersama lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya.
Please be seated.
Hadirin silakan duduk kembali.
We would like to invite the chair of the 55th anniversary of Universitas Brawijaya, Professor Ratia Anindita, MS, PhD, to deliver his report on today's conference. The Honorable Professor Ratia Anindita, MS, PhD, please.
Acara selanjutnya mari kita ikuti bersama laporan Ketua Pelaksana Dies Natalis ke-55 Universitas Brawijaya, Profesor Ratia Anindita, MS, PhD, yang terhormat kepada beliau. Disilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Vice Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, Dr. Syabudin SHMH, representative of the faculty in Universitas Brawijaya, distinguished keynote speaker Profesor Hendrawan Sutanto, PhD, Universitas Brawijaya, Indonesia, Profesor Dr. Sarmani Gabriel, Faculty of Art and Social Science, University Malaya, Dr. Lauren Patterson, European Research Council, University of Leicester United Kingdom, and Dr. Uli Kosok, University of Hawaii at Manoa, USA, and delegates. On behalf of the steering committee, I would like to welcome you to the first international conference on higher education, which is held to commemorate the 55th anniversary of Universitas Brawijaya. We are honored to have outstanding 4 keynote speakers from USA, UK, Malaysia, and Indonesia. The conference also attended by participants from overseas such as Thailand, Libya, and from all over Indonesia such as Malang, Jember, Pasuruan, Tulungagung, Surakarta, Yogyakarta, Semarang, Bandung, Jakarta, Makassar, dan Batam will present 48 outstanding papers. These remarkable individuals are going to shed light on the possible strategy to raise level of competitiveness of higher education institutions in the level of international competition by taking into account the managerial aspect, to increase the quality of the education process. I hope you will find the conference, including the keynote speaker, the parallel session, and other program, even education, and interesting. My deep gratitude goes to the member of the organizing committee and speaker who have helped to make this conference success. I will now yield to floor for the Vice Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, Dr. Syafuddin SMH, to formally open this conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Speech on today's conference.
Selanjutnya, mari kita ikuti bersama sambutan oleh Wakil Rektor 2 Universitas Brawijaya, Dr. Syafuddin SMH, yang terhormat. Kepada beliau disilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All Dean in Brawijaya University, distinguished keynote speaker, Prof. Derawan, from Brawijaya University, Prof. Dr. Sarmani Kabir from University of Malaya, Dr. Lorraine Patterson, European Research Council, University of Leicester United Kingdom, and Dr. Uli Kozak, University of Hawaii at Manoa, USA, delegates and representative of the faculties in Universitas Brawijaya. On behalf of the Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Universitas Brawijaya. We are delighted and honored to host the first international conference on higher education, enhancing competitiveness in Asia, held to commemorate the 55th anniversary of Universitas Brawijaya. The conference is designed to promote discussion and interaction among academics, researchers, and professionals in the field of natural science, social science, and humanities to respond to the challenges in the competitiveness of higher education in Asia. The center of the world's gravity has shifted toward Asia due to the major information in the region in the past decade, such as Mars reform and interconnectedness among Asia states and the rest of the world. This shift is also shown in the higher education, where Asia governments are pressing their ambitions to put their higher institution to the top. As a result, the universities in Asia are continuously upgrading themselves and expand their partnership with other universities in the world. Although most of major universities in Asia have upgraded their qualities, they still have to comply with the standard of institutional accomplishment set up by Western matrix such as key as World University Ranking and Time Higher Education that often put ASEAN countries at disadvantage. Therefore, I hope that this seminar will come up with beneficial solution and possible cooperation between universities in the effort to increase the qualities of the higher education in Indonesia and in Asia. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the participants for contributing to the success of the conference. I would like also to use the opportunity to deeply thank the organizing committee of the conference for the months of the hard work, effective and fruitful and produce conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We would like to invite Dr. Syahbudin SHMH to officially open the conference, accompanied by the Dean of Faculty of Social Studies and the Vice Dean of Faculty of Veterinary.
Ya, selanjutnya kami mengundang Bapak Wakil Rektor 2, Dr. Syahbudin, didampingi oleh Ketua Panitia Dies Natalis ke-55 Universitas Brawijaya, Profesor Radia Anindita, dan Ibu Wakil Dekan 2 Fakultas Kedokteran Hewan, Dr. Mengawali, untuk membuka secara resmi konferensi ini dengan pemukulan gong.
Following the opening of today's conference, we would also like to invite Dr. Syahbudin SHMH and Professor Radia Anindita MS PhD to give token of appreciation for the keynote speakers, Professor Sharmani Gabriel and Dr. Lorraine Patterson.
Ya, jadi acara selanjutnya adalah pemberian cindera mata dari Bapak Wakil Rektor 2 Universitas Brawijaya, didampingi oleh Bapak Ketua Pelaksana Profesor Radia Anindita dan Ibu Dr. Herawati kepada para pembicara Profesor Sharmani Gabriel dan Dr. Lorraine Patterson.
Harapannya FIB sudah 1 tahun ini gitu ya mempersiapkan segala yang berkaitan dengan Dies ya. Kayaknya panitia sudah siap betul untuk melaksanakan yang saat ini adalah seminar enhancing on international competitiveness in higher education ya.
Dalam rangka apa ini Pak mengadakan international conference hari ini?
Ini dalam rangka sekarang ya di masalah itu adalah masalah bagaimana meningkatkan daya saing perguruan tinggi. Brawijaya kan juga ingin meningkatkan daya saing juga tidak hanya di Indonesia tapi juga di dunia. Visinya Brawijaya kan untuk tahun ini dan tahun dekat ini mempunyai daya saing di tingkat Asia gitu ya.
I am Shamini Patricia Gabriel and I'm a professor of English at the University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur, and I'm here to share my perspectives as a literary scholar on the ways in which Asians in general and Malaysians and Indonesians in particular can provide the sites for new knowledge production. Right, and the role that humanities can play in the increasingly new global neoliberal global university. We are now living in a time of the corporate university, as opposed to the traditional university that valued the humanities, knowledge and thinking. So I'm here just to speak from my perspective on the importance of the humanities in today's world.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Can you give suggestion to the students maybe what should they prepare to the higher education in
Yes,
future?
as a literary studies scholar, I think literature makes you ask the big questions. Why am I studying this? How do I hope to contribute to knowledge? How do I improve society? How can I change society? These are the questions that I tell my students to think about very carefully before they start writing their thesis. You know, it must be something that moves them, that engages them, that they feel that they want to deal with this material maybe for the next 1 or 2 years, and they must have an interest and a passion in the topic that they are studying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Diana, for the very nice introduction. Thank you very much to my distinguished hosts, my fellow keynote speakers, students, and delegates of this conference. It's an honor and pleasure to be here in Brawijaya to celebrate the 55th anniversary of this beautiful, actually, university. The campus is very beautiful. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. Thinking of a topic for this symposium, I have had to be selective, and therefore I am going to address two main issues in my talk: the role and function of the humanities in today's global system, and the role played by literary studies in creating vital spaces of intervention. Those are the main points of my talk today. And I speak from my sense of personal political engagement as a humanities scholar, whose disciplinary training is in literary studies, and whose self-positioning as a researcher and theoretical and ideological orientation has been informed by post-colonialism. I teach and research on issues of diaspora, migration, ethnicity, multiculturalism, and national identity. Malaysia, the geographical area from which I hail and in which I live and work, is the main locus of my interest, current research interest. It is also the epistemic space where I feel and think. The project to reject universalizing frameworks and localize academic knowledge contributes to what scholars of decoloniality like Walter Mignolo have called a new geopolitics of knowledge. Because adopting this stance means that I'm aware, as Mignolo asks us to be aware, that knowledge is not abstract and delocalized, I ask myself, how do I promote a more locally relevant academic agenda that is grounded on everyday, local, and epistemic or academic possibilities? I will come back to this point in a moment. I'm also very interested in the role and function of the humanities. When we speak of the humanities disciplines, we usually refer primarily to philosophy, history, literature, and cultural anthropology. So, what is the role of the humanities in the rapidly changing 21st century world we inhabit? A world bombarded by politics, economics, technology, climate change, religious conflicts, wars, human migration, and movements. Not only politics and economics, but also culture is undergoing tremendous reconfigurations. Given these changes in the world order, the question of assessing the role of the humanities has acquired special urgency for two reasons: globalization, or rather global capitalism, and the rise of the corporate university in today's neoliberal world. In Southeast Asia, the humanities have been an important site for the spread of anti-hegemonic ideals, especially after ideological opposition was wiped out during the height of the Cold War. The notion of the public intellectual gained currency as scholars used the knowledge and insights from their research in their own occasions and participated actively in the public sphere to articulate common concerns and propose useful knowledge interventions. The need for public intellectuals has become more urgent today, where public good and social justice has to be prioritized over economic development. In this neoliberal age that favors privatization, entrepreneurialism, and individualism. So today, with increasing globalization and the rise of new neoliberal discourses, the role of the public intellectual, has been constrained by the rise of what has been called the corporate university. This has led to the increasing commercialization, or what I would call the commodification of knowledge, notably symbolized by institutional participation in global university and publication rankings. In an increasingly capitalist age, universities are no longer seen as places that equip students with disciplinary knowledge, but rather as places geared towards branding, towards certification, towards training individuals in practical or on-the-job skills and supplying the needs of the market. Now, how to retain the important intellectual role traditionally played by the humanities in higher education is the question that confronts us today. Mengawali suggests that the humanities in the corporate university should take the place of philosophy in the traditional university. Ethical and critical thinking and reflections, which lie at the heart of all humanities work, have become a supplement to education rather than its core in the corporate university. Thus, there is a critical need to reinvigorate the humanities today. More than ever, we need the humanities for disrupting standard narratives that reinforce particular conceptualizations of power and providing resources for constructing other narratives. My research is aimed at producing new understanding related to problems in society, and my perspective has required me, whether consciously or not, to repeatedly return to the question of the unequal distribution of power in my society through the role played by the concept of the national, which is operative in formulations such as national literature, national culture. National is an authoritative narrative, a category through which the Malaysian state exercises power to suppress populations within the nation by dividing them against one another according to a particular logic, and in Malaysia that logic is usually a racial one. Such notions of race and authenticity are built into the concept of the national, which in many countries is still deeply embedded in the anti-colonial moment in history. Such a thinking has given rise to constructive notions of indigeneity, as in the formulation of, in Malaysia we have this formulation, Bumiputra, which is a staged and politically expedient category that suits hegemonic interests, as opposed to it being an empowering category for the disenfranchised.
Good morning. ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you are in a good condition today. Just a greeting from Malaya, the city of East Java, in the second biggest city in East Java. First of all, I'd like to thank for the moderator that's already introduced me. And probably if you listen to my curriculum vitae, I'm probably a bit unintended persons to be here. We are talking about higher education while my educational background is animal science, especially nutrition. But my interest in higher education development or management stems from my past experience when I joined the leadership in the faculty at the University of Brawijaya, and recently I also joined the team in the Minister or which is a very important conference. I am really worried very much with the condition of higher education, especially in Indonesia at the moment, when we have to compete with other countries in the global era, and especially with the emergence of the digital era. Now we are facing with a serious problem to develop higher education, especially in Indonesia. For this reason, I would like to highlight briefly about Indonesian higher education development, and we have to agree to some extent about what is the digital era, especially to understand about our future student or our today's student in terms of learning strategy and also about the background of our student. So after that, so we talk about the needs to change to win the competition, and as concluding remarks for the ones that will deliver. When you look at the vaccine of Indonesia at the moment, in terms of size, Indonesia probably in terms of population, we are the fourth biggest populated countries in the world after China, India, and United States of America. Nevertheless, our country is probably big enough. The size is probably spread from Ankara, Turkey to UK. So we are very proud just to have that quite big or long archipelagos in the world. And this one, we have to, what is something perceived, this one also, we have the potential to play in the global market. In terms of number of islands, we have around 17,500. I think this one recently stated. And our population probably now is reaching not only 237.6 million, it's already around 250 million. Yeah, I think this one's almost maybe 10 times as big as Malaysia at the moment in terms of population. Our national language, we speak Bahasa Indonesia. Of course, other foreign languages like English, maybe some region they speak Dutch, or I don't know, our local language is quite varies. We are having around 742 languages, local languages, and we cannot understand each other sometimes. Yeah? This causes disparity in economic, education, and health between islands. It is our big obstacle at the moment. If I try to look at the beginning of this development, I just try to backtracking during the Enlightenment era. It was in 1908 And then we moved forward until 1928, where this was the nationalism began at the time. And if you look at this, the trends, we reached the independence year in 1945, and then moved to the development until now, seperti 2012, where from the beginning we already set up seperti Indonesian qualification framework. Yeah, this one, just to equalize our human resources quality with others. I think this is will be one of the milestones for us to enter the global competition. Yeah? And also, we already have the new higher education law, and which stresses on the competence for the graduate in Indonesia as compared to the previous era. So I think this one also should be seen as the difficulty era, because in the past we educated people only in the elite group. Now it's become mass education. The number of students in higher education in Indonesia probably around 3.5 million students at the moment. I think this one is quite large. If you look at this picture also, we still have the problem in the proportion of workforce versus the education level as compared to other, for example, like OECD countries, even our neighbor Malaysia. Yeah? Indonesia probably in terms of the education level, we are still behind the Malaysia at the moment. Even though in the past, some teachers from Indonesia actually worked in Malaysia institution. But this is should be seen that our greatest problem for Indonesia. So what is the reality for this one? When you look at the comparison between ASEAN countries, I'm not talking about Asian countries, this one. The number of higher education institutions, Indonesia still leading. We have 3,800. This one up to 2040. As compared to, for example, Malaysia, they have 488, if I'm not mistaken. Brunei, 74. Yeah, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, except the Philippines. Philippines around 2,299. It is our what is protection just to complicate the future. But if you look at this situation at the moment, the hottest global issue at the moment is unemployment from university graduate. This is our burden. Because of that, we have to look at the current situation in ASEAN. If I refer to Indonesia, we are still lacking of adequate qualified faculty staff. When we compare with the number of students. Secondly, also declining of academic community, limited experience and quality assurance process, lack of equitable access for all students, lack of infrastructures, geographic spread and diversity of universities. To some extent, also lack facility of the usage of English and limited research expertise. This is the condition of Indonesia, which is probably is not happening in Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. And when we are talking about the size of the what is something is the size of the problem, I think.
It's my great pleasure to be at Brawijaya University for this wonderful conference celebrating the 55th anniversary of Brawijaya University. We're going to be discussing the ways in which universities throughout Southeast Asia and especially Indonesia can enhance competitiveness and make centers of excellence of the universities. At a time when the economy of Indonesia is growing as it is, it's very important that education is given the priority it should have, and that Indonesia, especially as one of the great leaders of ASEAN, if not the leader of ASEAN, should be at the very center of promoting excellence throughout all the faculties of the university. So my background is in Southeast Asian studies, and I trained both at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, and also at Cornell University, also in America, in upstate New York. Both of those are centers of excellence for Southeast Asian studies, but they are both in the United States of America. And it's time to think about how Indonesia, Malang, Brawijaya University, can actually promote itself accordingly.